there's a real tendency among marketing people, marketing agencies, to want to come into a situation and just take a wrecking ball to everything that's ever occurred prior to them. And I think when you take a wrecking ball to a website right away, you're creating a bottleneck, and it's just something that doesn't have to be done. We look at that website and say, what's the real problem here? Is it an image issue that's going on here, or is it really more of the narrative that's occurring? And when it's the narrative, you don't necessarily have to start over with all new imagery and all new content. Many times it's a case of the content is completely missing the mark. Usually it's not plain English, and that's the main issue. So you work within the shell that you have without trying to necessarily mess with platforms and migrations and all this other technical stuff that doesn't necessarily need to happen. Now, if it is something in the way of, let's say, a platform that just does not allow that business to expand and grow and plan for the future, the next 2 or 3 years at least, then we'll take a look at how we might do a complete revamp. But complete revamp is actually not my default move when it comes to websites. It's what can we work within? We don't have to upset the entire apple cart out of the gate. And it may really be the final kind of step that is taken with that website that really needs to do the transformation we want, rather than go into some things that are a lot more cosmetic than useful, and a lot more expensive and a lot more time consuming useful. Every website is different, every client is different, but that's usually the way I go about it. And especially since if we can do that kind of modification, then we can get into some other things that are very important that we don't want to necessarily put off just because we're spending so much time trying to get a website in a good place. Content for a blog, which then can influence social media, e-marketing, and a host of other things that we want to do. If I don't have to completely blow up the website, then I'm not going to.